Hey Combinators, my name is Chloe and welcome back to Purrfect Date. I have been so excited about this game. It's taking all of my self-control to not look up spoilers and how to get better endings and everything like that, so I am super ready to jump back into this and I hope you are too, so let's get started. This is right about where we left off last time. I might be a few text boxes behind, but we'll be right where we should have been. I need to gain their trust and see if I can't get them to open up a bit. I'm sure I'll make more progress if I focus on one at a time. I'm optimistic that one-to-one sharing will prove fruitful. It's a small glimmer of hope. Tonight, I'm not fit for anything. I can barely even write in my journal before I fall asleep. The first morning of waking up on the island, I'm so excited to discover what the day will bring. Should I jump straight into lab research? Or maybe it would be wise to start investigating a way to help the cats, and find a cure for myself? Perhaps a good starting point would be to get to know the cats a little better on a one-to-one basis? Man, so I do know that if, what should I do today? Okay, so I do know that you cannot let your health get down like any other game, and as soon as you finish up your 3 things of research, you're done. It ends the section of the game, and you can't do any more research or recon, so you have to make sure to do get all of the story you want out and then do research. So I want to do, let's do romance. Give me some kitties. What cat should I date? Why do you have question marks? Wait. Are these all male or female? Am I bi? I'm totally fine with it if I am. Why are some of them locked? Let's do Snooty Booty. I'm splayed out like a starfish on the beach in my bathing clothes. It's a swelteringly hot day, and I find it hard to concentrate on my work. So here I am. I let the cool sea wash over my feet and legs as I lay back on the sand. I hear a long, loud sigh coming from somewhere nearby, and I sit up to see where it came from. Snooty Booty, in response, Snooty Booty, I cannot take this game seriously, at all. Snooty Booty, in response, under the shade of a palm tree, is looking about her with a concerned expression, one that I've rarely seen on a cat make before. I go over to her to see if I can help with something. Are you okay, Snooty Booty? She lets out another long, wistful sigh. To be quite frank with you, human, no, I am not okay. I cannot expose this delicate skin of mine to the sun, but there is something I need to retrieve from further down the beach. It is quite the predicament. Oh, right. Want me to fetch it for you? Oh, would you really be so kind, human? I would be very grateful. Sure, it's no problem. We can't have you putting that delicate skin of yours at risk, can we? Snooty Booty looks grave. Indeed not. Skincare must come above all else, don't you know? Man, I do love me some good skincare. But I do know a lot of things that come before skincare. One must never expose one's skin to the elements, human. It really is quite aging. One must also never get stressed if one wishes to retain one's youthful aura, which is rather difficult on this frightful island. Oh, I know, believe me. How do you know? Are you stressed? Oh no, that would upset me terribly. Really? That's sweet of you. Of course, you really are a precious thing. I do so hope you are finding your time here pleasant. Don't worry about me, Snooty Booty, I'm fine. Now what was it you'd like me to get for you? Well, before I tell you, I must ask that you don't inform the others of the whereabouts of this particular item. It's very dear to me, you see, and one of the few luxuries I have all to myself. Of course, that's no problem. What is this? I can see this going either super dark and twisted, or super sexual, or random cat need, or want. I can be discreet when I need to be. I do hope so, human. You see, along the beach just south of here, there is a tree to which bears the ripest of coconuts all year round. It is quite splendid. The coconuts are always so sweet and creamy. Snooty Booty looks as if she's lost in a wonderful dream. Sounds lovely? It is! I like to drink coconut water as often as I can, as it is so good for the skin and waistline, but the less civilized oh my god, I can never pronounce this word for the life of me. Denizens of the island keep knocking the coconuts down before they're fully matured. Fortunately, no one else seems to have discovered this particular tree yet. Well, okay, Snooty Booty. I'll try to find some coconuts for you. I'll be back soon. You have my thanks, human. I've been walking for a lot longer than Snooty Booty led me to believe. I'm not sure if this is even the right tree. They all look the same to me. Although, this one does seem to have more coconuts than the others. I decide to take a chance and bundle up as many as I can carry in my arms and haul them back to her ladyship. By the time I get back to Snooty Booty, I'm faint from the exertion, not to mention walking so far in the sun. I fall to my knees, panting in front of her. Here you go, Boots. She eyes the pile with a distinct air of disapproval. I only need one coconut, human. Oh. These are far too many. Well, I do apologize, madame. Well, tell me, you didn't plunder the tree. No, there were plenty of the ground already, so... Oh well, that's a small mercy. At least you didn't hack them down. Hack them down? With what? Well, your hands are rather large and leathery. Snooty Booty, I do not use my hands for deforestation. Well, I'm sure you did your very best, although I really don't know what I'm going to do with so many coconuts. You're welcome, I'm sure. I look down at the pile of coconuts and it strikes me properly for the first time how strange it is that there are no creatures on the island to plunder them. What do you think it is, Snoots, that keeps wildlife away from the island? Do you mean the magnetic barrier? Magnetic barrier? Oh, do keep up, human. I thought you were meant to be a scientist. I realize she must be referring to the force field that surrounds the island. Now, be a dear and crack one open for me. Cracking up a cold one with the boys. Oh god, I hate myself. With my enormous hands. Well, you could try, I suppose. I push down the irritation that is slowly rising in me and smile politely. On second thoughts, I'll be right back with a screwdriver. A what? Snooty Booty looks horrified. It's a sharp metal tool that bores into things. What on earth do you need one of those for? So that I can make a hole to get the water out of the coconut. How else do you propose I do it? Well, look around you, dear. Look at nature's bounties. What about... that? Snooty gestures with a limp paw out at a shard of rock nearby. Snoots, how do you usually get the water out of the coconut when there isn't a human around? Well, the exuberant Kibbles simply loves to break things. Had you not noticed? It's one of the few reasons I tolerate him, don't you know? Far better than one of your screw-old dribblers, don't you think? I reach over and pick up the rock. It does look like it could actually do the job. Okay, let's give it a try. Here goes. Wait a minute. I thought all of these cats were humans that had turned into cats. I feel like most humans, well, like, most, you know what a screwdriver is, like, you know what screws are, I assume, or you know something that's like of the like of it. How do you not know what a screwdriver is, or were you just always a cat? Holding the coconut in a palm leaf, I gently tap the shell a few times with a stone before finally whacking it. It cracks open surprisingly easily, and the water drains into the leaf. There now. See how nature provides, human? Yep. Again. You're welcome. Quite. Snooty Booty stretches her neck, and then upper body towards the leaf. She sticks her tongue out as far as it can go before raising her big eyes to me. I can't quite seem to... I suddenly realize what she's getting at. She wants me to hold... Whatever. Let me help. I let her struggle for a moment or two before I begin to feel a little bit like a child pulling the wings off of a fly. She can't help the way she is. You seem to be struggling a little, Boots. Well, you've placed my libation slightly out of my reach. Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like me to help? Help? Bring it a little closer, perhaps? Well, of course I would, human. Are you deliberately obtuse? I would very much like to help you, Snoots, but you make it rather difficult. How? I don't understand. I've been perfectly clear in my instruction. You see, I am under a spell. It's a very powerful one, which prevents me from following any instruction unless accompanied by some magic words. Oh, would you care to enlighten me? Well, it would go something like this. Please, human, would you mind passing me my libation? Thank you very much. There is a pause during which I'm really not sure what Snooty Booty is thinking. Suddenly, the Sphinx erupts into peals of laughter. I seem to have forgotten my manners. Please do be so kind, human. I would be most obliged. Oh, go on, then. I nudge the leaf closer to her, and she delicately laps at it. I am truly indebted. Many thanks. That looks delicious. Mm-hmm. Snooty agrees without taking a break. You know, searching for those coconuts was thirsty work. I'm sure it was. This bitch ain't gonna give me any of this coconut water that I just fucking trekked across this island for. I ain't falling in love with this bitch. Out. No more dates with Snooty Booty. Unless she has information, then I will go on another date with Snooty Booty. She's still lapping at the water. God. My throat's a bit scratchy, especially in this heat. Snooty Booty finally comes up for air. Quite. That's the beauty of a coconut, you see. So hydrating, and most palatable, too. You really ought to try it sometime. I look down at the now dry palm leaf. Yes, that's a good idea, Boots. And the very best thing after drinking coconut water is to curl up and have a nap, you know. Beauty sleep is most important. Oh, is that so? Indeed, human. I suppose you have other things to do now? Well... Snooty Booty yawns and closes her eyes. I suppose I do. Sweet dreams, princess. She snores softly in reply. I wish I could fall asleep that fast. I am digging the music in this game. Antidote, 1.4%. So do I just, like... What is recon? Let's do a recon? Sure, why not? Recon 4. That security guard I met when I arrived might be a good lead. Time for a bit of interrogation. Or a strange message in the middle of the night. Doesn't anyone... I want to do the strange message! Sneaky, sneaky. I hear my catalog beeping. I presume it's the professor. I tumble out of bed, half asleep, and fumble around looking for the device. I look at the screen, my eyes struggling to focus. The message isn't from the professor at all. There's no contact information. Come outside. No. Can I have a weapon first? I'll come out with a weapon. I'll do that. Unless I'm like a pro martial artist. Who is this? Come outside. They obviously aren't going to respond to my question. Should I do as the message tells me? Fuck it! Yes! My curiosity is roused, and I have a feeling there's something important to learn from this stranger, so I throw on my clothes and crawl out of my tent. I don't see anything out of the ordinary. Anyone out here? My catalog beeps again. Walk to the edge of the forest. I'm about to get murdered. I'm not going any further until you tell me who you are. Walk to the edge of the forest. No! Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest. Walk to the edge of the forest! Stop it! This is like that one crazy guy that like doesn't understand that no is an acceptable answer and just like, can I come out? Can I hang out? Can I come to your room? Can I see you? You wanna go on a date? What are you doing? Who are you with? What are you doing? And you just like block their number and you just forget it ever happened. But now I realize I have walked to the edge of the forest. I'm not meant to survive. At the end of the edge of the forest, I see something on the ground. As I get closer, it becomes clear that it's a small posse of flowers. I gingerly pick them up and notice that several of the flower heads are missing. My catalog beeps again. Follow the petals. And that's when I see a trail of little orange petals, the same color as the bouquet I'm holding. Well, I've come this far. No turning back now. I begin to walk. I'm nervous, so I call out. Hello? No answer. Louder this time. Hello? Okay, if someone is obviously watching you, I'm not gonna be calling out shit. First of all, I would have messaged someone already being like, yo, Professor Popper, there's some stranger that's texting me, and I'm gonna go out to the woods, so you better be able to come save my ass later. Hello? Floofy butt! Hello? Who is that? Who goes there? Major? Is that you, Floofy butt? I really wish you wouldn't call me that, human. What on earth do you think you're playing at? Cavorting around the forest in the dead of night, causing a ruckus? Oh, Major, you don't know how pleased I am to see you. I need your help. And this can't wait until a civilized hour? I'm afraid it can't. I'm not the one instigating this. I've been getting messages from an anonymous source, asking me to follow them into the forest. Look, they've left this trail. Ah, Calendula genus species. Marigolds. Herb of the sun. They said to represent creativity, though some believe them to be symbols of cruelty and grief. Your knowledge is always so impressive, but I have to say on this occasion, it's not very comforting. Floofybutt goes striding off with purpose. Come along then, Chloe. Are we going to follow this trail or not? I shuffle awkwardly behind him. Before the sun comes up, eh? We continue on for a short while and notice that the petals are getting more and more sparse. It's becoming more difficult to see them until eventually they seem to run out, and we find ourselves at a small clearing. Well, it appears somebody has been playing a joke on you, Chloe. I sadly agree. There has been nothing but a wild goose chase. Seems so, Major. I'm sorry for dragging you into this. Let's go back to our beds before we waste any more precious snooze time on this fool. I turn to Floofybutt, and notice that his back is arched and his fur puffed up, making him look even more floofy than usual. Something wrong, Major? You tell me, human. Does that pile of rocks look suspicious to you? Against mired rock piles, I notice a small, contrived-looking cairn. Floofybutt's right. It looks like far from natural. That looks to me like it's asking to be inspected, Major. Well, get to it, Chloe. You're the one with the thumbs. I begin to dismantle the small mound, rock by rock. It's not until the foundation stone is removed that we find a manila envelope. Major, look! It's a letter! It's rather large for a letter, my dear. I think you ought to open it. Here, or back at base? Having got you this far, I think it's only fair that I have equal share of the spoils. Spoils? Yes, perhaps we should look at it right now, Major. As I'm speaking, I've torn into the envelope. Well, out with it. It looks like drawings? What sort of drawings? I'm not sure, but they look quite old. Antique, even. But do they have value, human? Probably, to someone. They appear to just be sketches of people here on the island, but I don't recognize anyone. Why would someone lead me to these? How do you know you were meant to find them? Because we followed a trail and it led us here. Actually, the trail ended a while back. This could be a mere coincidence. I hardly see the intrigue in a few old scribbles. They show no artistic flair at all. Even so, I'm going to hang on to these to see if they prove relevant to whatever mystery is unfolding here on this island. Floofybutt rolls his eyes. You really ought to focus more on the clues that matter, instead of running around in the middle of the night on a wild goose chases. Let's head back before anyone discovers you're missing. I roll the drawings up and tuck them into my waistband. I will study them when I have more time. I think Floofybutt is probably right, but I don't want to miss a trick. I wonder, she said it's people she doesn't recognize. I wonder if all of these people that turned into cats is drawings of them. What if they're gonna, like, what if the island is picking who they're turning into? Like, who they're turning into cats. And, like, she's gonna find these drawings, and it's all the cats that have already been turned, and there's gonna be, like, an entire drawing of, like, the people in her camp, because they want to turn all of them, too. Get some rest now, Chloe. How do you know my name? Finally, a sensible suggestion. I head after Floofybutt, struggling to keep up. I really need some sleep. I like these cat posters in the background. Let's rest. Does research take up 1? Yeah, I'll do a rest. You had a lovely nap and wake up feeling revitalized. Your energy has been restored. Magic! Sleeping makes you not tired. This isn't like a new discovery. Okay. Antidote, 2.8%. Let's do a research. Let's see, research 5. Time to round up some rowdy kitties. A slow day today. I've only got to organize a few samples from previous field trips. Today I'm off on a field trip of sorts with the professor. Let's do this one. Professor Popper told me to be ready early and dressed for hiking, as we're doing field work this morning. I'm not sure that I have anything that would pass for hiking gear, to be honest. Some sturdy shoes would be good. Oh well, lab coat and trainers it is then, as usual. A message from the professor lights up my catalog. Set to go? I'm waiting outside my tent. Ah, Chloe, are you ready for our field work today? Yes, of course, Professor. May I ask where we are going? Somewhere I think you'll find very interesting. The professor hands me a backpack. Here, take this bag. It's very full, but surprisingly light. Popper has set off at a brisk pace, calling back to me over his shoulder. This way! I run up to catch him up. After some serious walking, with me struggling to keep up, the professor stops abruptly and listens. Do you hear that? There is a distinct sound of bubbling water. We're almost there. That's gonna be a waterfall. I love waterfalls. Secretly, I'm relieved, as I don't think I could go much further. Just a little climbing. Climbing? I hide my dismay. Where does he get his energy from? It's just at the top there. It's not as difficult a climb as it looks. We are in front of an almost vertical rock face. Just copy me. He clambers up expertly. I manage to find a spot that will support my foot and start the climb. I make little progress before slipping and falling flat on my bum. I try again. This time, I take it slow. Again, I fall. What happened to the benefits of catification the others keep going on about? The professor notices I'm having trouble and holds a hand out for me. I manage to climb up, just enough to take hold of him, and he lifts me the rest of the way. His strength is impressive. Curious, even. He's a cat! You are a cat, sir. Not a fan of climbing, eh? Can't say I've done much of it, Professor. Come along, then. I can get you there. He pretty much pulls me all the way to the top, and then leads me to the entrance of a small cave. The sound of running water is very loud now. I instantly see why. A natural spring has cut its way through the rock and created a beautiful cascade of sparkling clear water. It looks delicious. I kneel down. Without thinking, I begin to drink. It tastes amazing. As I come up for breath, I see the professor looking at me with suspicion. You should know better. It is never wise, under any circumstances, to ingest something that is unproven, but here, on this island, it would be prudent to exercise more caution than usual. I feel embarrassed at my lack of consideration. Yes, of course, sir. I wasn't thinking. I felt so thirsty and it looked so good. I do understand. Many have made the same error. Fortunately for you, this is tried and tested for safe consumption. It's good, don't you think? My body feels suddenly re-energized. I feel like I could climb any wall. It's incredible. I feel fantastic. What's in it? We don't know. That's why we're here. We need more samples. We've been studying this water for months now, and we still know very little about it. Check your bag. I open my bag. It's full to the brim with empty plastic bottles. This bitch is gonna be heavy as fuck to carry back down if you have this full bag of empty bottles that you're about to fill up with all of this water. We'll need to fill all of these with water. We're going to need as much as we can carry. I do as he says. By the time all the bottles are full and back in my bag, it weighs a ton, but I feel like I can lift anything. The effect of the water is powerful. The professor has also packed his own rucksack with bottles. That should do us for now. Let's get these back. As we make our way down the rock the rock face and back to camp. I have no problem keeping up with the professor. I feel like I could run all the way. However, as we get closer to home, I start to feel the effect wear off. My bag becomes unbearably heavy. The final limp into camp is torture. I need to rest. I want this water, like, all the time. Antidote, 4.2%. I didn't even do anything. I just collected water. Antidote for... You know what? Whatever. I liked the recon the best. Let's do recon again. So do I, like, unlock more as I do stuff? I assume. Recon 4! Start. I've been staring at the back of his head for a long time now. Too long. I'm starting to feel creepy. I just don't understand it. All he does is sit in that chair by the dock, eating egg sandwiches and doing crossword puzzles. How does a man like that become a security guard for a place like this? As far as I can tell, his job consists of greeting the boat to make sure nothing unauthorized gets on or off of it, picking up supply deliveries, and occasionally taking a long, lazy lap of the island to make sure everything's... secure? I wonder what he knows about the research that goes on here, if anything. He doesn't seem to be interested regardless. I decide it's time to get to know the island bouncer and join him at the dock. I sit next to Zane, me on the sand and him in that chair. He's not wearing his big coat, and the short-sleeved shirt allows me to notice for the first time how surprisingly muscular he is. I never truly thought of him as security in the bodyguard sense, but now, squinting at him sideways, trying not to stare too obviously, I begin to see him in a new light. I pluck up the courage to talk. Hey Zane, how are you? Are you trying to start a conversation? Yes I am. You're apparently very attractive and I would like to talk to you. He says this without looking up from his crossword puzzle. Oh, I suppose I am, yes. I don't get to chat with humans too much on my job. Research Assistant 125. He rolls the words out like he's reading them. Oh, yes, I guess that's me. So what does the number stand for, anyhow? You don't know? He asks monotonously, his eyes still glued to his crossword puzzle. No, actually, to be honest, Zane, I don't know much at all. There's a definite lack of intel sharing on this project. Which project would that be? This one. The whole research project that's going on? Is there more than one? Depends who you ask. I was just asking you, really. I don't understand your job. I don't need to. I don't care about things I don't need to. What do you care about? Zane looks at me for the first time. You really want to talk, don't you? Well, there's not much else to do here. Besides, I'm interested in it all. Aren't you? My interests consist of what's for dinner and when my next puzzle book's coming. This guy is boring as hell, or he's hiding some shit. When it's coming, you get it delivered? Comes with the mail. He's back to not looking at me again. The mail? You mean the parcels? And the letters, yeah. The letters? Who would go to the trouble of sending mail all the way here when we have email? I laugh, but Zane looks very serious. It's safer sending mail the old-fashioned way. With email, there's viruses, hackers, worms, cyber-terrorists. I get the feeling he's not very tech-savvy. Yeah, but anyone can open and read a letter, right? Not if I'm around. And besides, who would suspect that something important would be in a fragrant pink envelope? There's an awkward silence. Of course, being my usual socially inept self, I'm desperate to fill it. Need any help with that crossword? I'm pretty good. I can even do the cryptic puzzle and the Daily Inquirer. The line usually gains me a little kudos, but Zane simply ignores me. I decide to just come out and say what's on my mind. I mean, it can't make things more awkward than they already are. Zane, have you ever noticed anything strange going on here? Cats behaving weirdly? Zane suddenly looks up, his eyes locking straight on mine, unwavering and hard. No. Have you? Well, not exactly, but... He is looking at me properly for the first time since we met. I have definitely captured his attention, but I'm too nervous to follow through. I'm just being silly. The lack of human company can get to me, gives me daft ideas. Such as? He's still staring at me, as though he's trying to read my mind. Sometimes, when I'm out tagging, I feel they're playing games on me, like children, hide and seek, that kind of thing. Some of those cats may be cleverer than any of us give them credit for. Now it's my turn to be intrigued. In what way? They know when to stay out of the sun. You're going pink. The moment, if there was one, is over. I decide maybe Zane isn't the best person to talk to about my concerns. Feeling unwanted and slightly dejected, I decide to head back to camp. I stand up and brush the sand off me. What's a 5-letter word for solitude? Alone. Zane silently scribbles in his book as I leave. He's either just like a super static character or hiding the key to the universe. Well, that's honestly a pretty good spot to tie things up. I would like more recon missions, so I'm clearly going to have to go through and do more research and romance just to get everything that I need done. But I'm just like, trust no one, because everyone here knows something that we don't. And so everyone wants you to be on their side, and shit is gonna hit the fan so hard, and I am so excited to see how this turns out. But anyways, my name is Chloe, this is my combination corner, and as always, I am signing off. See you next time.